So Tammy and I have been working very diligently on updating this prospecting training this evening that we're going to be sharing to be in line with the social media approach. And again, I wanted to remind you, all of you that are listening in, if you happen to be on Facebook Live, welcome. We certainly appreciate the hearts and the likes and the comments. Same thing here on Zoom. Certainly appreciate your feedback. And as we share in real time here, if you have any questions, comments, or anything that you'd like to mention, please feel free to put it in the chat or also into the Facebook Live. If I do miss it, I'll just catch it later once the session is done. I just go back and I'll comment a little later. But the point is, this evening, we've updated the prospecting presentation to be in line again with the social media approach. Yes, that's what I wanted to say. But in line to everything that we are learning. And I know that it comes in for some of you may find that a little heavy, but remember, I look at this like going to the restaurant. When you go to the restaurant and you look at the menu that may have 4, 5, 6, 7, even more pages, you don't buy the entire menu. You pick and choose what fits what you want and you use. And in fact, this is exactly what I'm doing with the dares that are there is, for example, today it's about putting 5 stories in a row. And there's a logical sequence for that. And I'm not going to do it right now, but I assure you that I'll be doing it. And in fact, some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight is kind of in line to that on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, all the way up to 7 days and launching your business. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But I do recommend for you to familiarize yourself with the content on the Crown Diamond Global Impact. You can find it. You can find a channel on YouTube, or you can also go to the activeteamgroup.com. It's also there. And you can also go right to our Facebook group and just familiarize yourself with the content that's been featured, which is always the most recent one, but all of them are there. And pick one, start from the beginning, because you will learn so much. And again, remember, think of the menu in a restaurant. You don't need to learn and know everything and apply everything. Pick something that you feel is appropriate and become a champion in doing this one thing. Because I'm telling you, it could actually make a significant difference. So tell me, before I share the screen, is there anything else that you want to share? Yeah, I can hear it loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a lot of content tonight, like Chris said, and so we're going to jump right into it. We're going to combine, obviously, the belly to belly connection, which is very important in building our businesses, and of course, the social media platform as well. So everything is about how to connect with people. What do you do? What do you say when you're prospecting somebody out there? And I think the most important, valuable lesson that I could share with you this evening is go out with the mindset of making a new friend, making a new connection, and not going out there in like a fishing hook and trying to catch some bait, because people get they can feel the energy when you're connecting with them and what your intentions are. People will catch that. So I think it's really important to put that out there, to be a friend, because even down the road, they may not see it right now, but down the road, when you foster friendship, wonderful things will come your way.
I totally agree, Tammy. And the logic, even though we're dealing with the social media, belly to belly, hotel meetings, traveling, doing business offline and online, the principles don't change, right? So the fact here is, what we're trying to do is we're trying to engage an associate or a customer. And the prospecting aspect is the initial stage of building that relationship, as Tammy was referring to. But understand that there is a cycle that goes through from the prospecting to the inviting. And as you become a bit more seasoned into the activities in prospecting and inviting, you can actually do both at the same time. But again, it really depends. And it's important that you're not always eager to try to sell your agenda as to what you want them to buy, what you want them to do, but it's to build that relationship. People like to do business with people they like, they know, and they trust. And that's, again, the reason why the prospecting aspect is so important. And we're going to share with you some basic approaches, and we're going to also give you some small examples that we do recommend for you to apply. But again, there's a lot more information into the Crown Diamond Global Impact Series, the 90-day run. So of course, the second step is the inviting, and of course, the follow-up. As we know that 90% of people do not follow through in their follow-ups, and it's the reason why they don't get the business. Sometimes it's on the seventh iteration of connecting with a person that will get the person to make a decision. And most people will stop at 1 or 2, 3 at the most, right? So this is very important as we keep in mind. Go ahead, Tammy.
Yeah, as I mentioned, building friendship first, it's absolutely critical. You'll get a lot of value when you go out and do this. So don't go out there, especially when you're new. For those of you who are new that are looking at this training, go out there, as I mentioned, and just build relationships first. And every single time you're on social media or you're meeting somebody belly to belly, keep that in the back of your mind, because not everybody is going to say yes at the one shot. There are people that do. I'm telling you, there are people that are looking for opportunity. And if you provide the information that they're going to connect to, I've had people sign up right on the spot. Cold market, warm market, I've had that. But always keep that in the back of your mind, that you want to build long-term relationships with people.
I agree with this. And these are conversation starters. And I know that most of you are aware of that. It's common sense. And again, that it's offline or online. I mean, the principle is the same. You begin with a compliment. This is something that never fails, right? I noticed that some people will compliment Tammy or compliment me on something that we recently posted, and right away they tend to get my attention, right? It's just human nature. So this is something it's highly recommended. Ask some open-minded questions, and we'll cover that a little bit later. And this is something, and Tammy and I just actually did a video on the beach, is listen more than you speak. I think it's habit number 6, learn to understand first, or learn to seek to understand first, then be understood, right? That's from Stephen Covey, the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. And I stated, anyway, I'll leave the governments outside of this for now. The point here is this is a very important of succeeding in this kind of business, right? People often have an agenda. They want to train, they want to tell, they want to educate, they want to send a whole dictionary of library of everything we have to offer. And it's like you're using a fire hose in someone as all they want is just drink the water from a little hose, right? And this is something that it's very, very important. Understand where they are. Share relatable stories. We'll give you some examples a little bit later. Begin genuinely interested in them, not interested just to build that relationship, but generally share an interest in them. And this is important. So if you, for example, you get to know them based on their social media, what they post, what they share, what they do, you can kind of feel what their brand is, what matters to them. And from there, you may actually relate, you may actually connect to that person. So as you share this genuine interest, you'll find that people will connect with you a lot more. Right? And help them see a better future. And this is the whole point. As you're prospecting, we're so geared on wanting to help them with their health. We want to help them with their income. And yes, of course, everybody wants that, but there's always a trust issue at the beginning. They don't know you. There's a bit of a cold front. They don't know what your agenda is. So the fact is, you really want to focus on how can you help them have a better future? And then that's when the collaboration comes across. So these are some of the conversation starters that I can think of so many moments in my life as we've been sharing. Tammy, probably the same, and many of you, I'm sure you can relate to that. So these are important points to consider as you build, as you start prospecting.
And those open-ended questions are really, really important. You don't want to ask questions that will just lead to a yes or a no. At the end of the day, you want to have dialogue going back and forth. to get to know each other, to see if you even want to do business with any of these people. Because I pick and choose. I just don't send information to anybody. I get a feel for who they are, what they're looking for. And from there, this is perfect, is to find out what their pain points are by asking questions to see where they're at today. How has the last couple years affected their home environment? How has it affected their work environment? How, find out where they're at, and always ask questions that are kind of geared towards the next question in terms of a business as well. You don't just want to kind of have normal dialogue that's going to go nowhere. So kind of lead them towards that question that you're going to ask them is if they're open, right? So if they tell you that things might have been really tough the last couple years, then ask them, tell me more about that. And just listen to them. People want to be heard. People are suffering, seriously suffering out there more than ever. And they're looking for solutions more than ever. So if we're not going back and forth with that dialogue of relationship building and creating that relatability with them and understanding where people come from, then we're not going to get any further with them from the first conversation. So it's always going into that, which is really, really important to take the time to do this, because network marketing is a long-term business. It's not a shortcut, short-term business. And anybody who wants to have a thriving business, they will be building a lot of relationships throughout the years with that person. Look at a lot of you who are on the Zoom session tonight, the relationships that we've had for so many years, and we watch each other's kids grow up, grandkids coming into the picture, and getting to know what are valuable things for you guys, and same thing for us. We're just going back and forth. Well, because of that, we've been strong bonded business partners for so many years. And you do this in your prospecting as well.
Of course. And Tammy, did you cover some of the details in reference to find the pain point, the pain points? Just try to say that 3 times in a row. By asking the right questions. Did you cover that?
I think I went pretty well into that, but if you want to put some examples of questions, Chris, you're fine to do that.
Yeah, sure. At the end of the day, what's important here is where are the pains? And that's what you need to identify as you are collaborating, exchanging and sharing and connecting. And of course, you don't want to be very careful that you don't end up being like a security guard where you're like drilling them with questions. Be very careful with that. It's more because sometimes I remember in the past, years and years ago, I could feel the person was getting uncomfortable, kind of like I was prying into his personal life. And it was not that at all, but it's how it came across. And as it matured, obviously now you have this emotional intelligence that starts to develop over time after all these mistakes and errors. The point here is that you want, in the midst of that conversation of exchanging, find out where the pains are, the pain points, very important. And we know that health is a major one, right? When it comes to your debt, I mean, people are buried with debts. It's unbelievable. And they can't see the end of this. And they just accept that that's how it's going to be for maybe the rest of their lives. And if you start showing steps to overcome that, it gives a sense of peace, a sense of serenity. Wow, there's actually possibility at the end of the tunnel. So we could go on and on here, but these are the things that are important. And a lot of this information naturally comes out as humans communicate. It's just a natural instinct of sharing this information. So what you want to do is you want to help them imagine what they truly desire. And I know this is common sense, but sometimes when we start building this business, it's almost like we forget the common sense and we start getting into this agenda of drilling. Okay, so very, very be mindful of that. And I'm telling you, if someone likes you or appreciates you or connects well with you, they gravitate towards you. And even if they're in a company, that they're currently doing, and maybe they haven't got any results, maybe the upline leader is not around, maybe there's no training, maybe there's no support, whatever the situation may be, they may be open to say, I'd like to work with you. I mean, and again, and I'm saying this very carefully because I don't recommend you go and poach other people's organization. That is not cool. People work hard to build an organization. So I just want to put that aside. It's important that we respect that. And there's a lot of space for growth. Remember, as I mentioned, I think on a previous call, we're only working and tapping in 5% of population. And this is millions and millions and millions and millions of people. I mean, 5% of population worldwide. So the fact here is there's a lot of folks out there. Remember, there's a 95% that are not necessarily involved in this ecosystem at all. So there's a lot of space and there's a lot of people to talk to. But the more you help them connect to the desired outcome that they're looking for, the more they'll be open to listen to you. It goes back to seek to understand first, then to be understood. Because I know Max has a solution when it comes to our health. I know Max has a solution when it comes to the income possibilities due to what we offer and the backbone science that is so solid. This is it's like one of our solid pillars that anybody can relate to when it comes to that level of details. But again, as you communicate with the person, you'll get more and more comfortable communicating the agenda that you feel is appropriate for that person.
Yeah, and one thing that you can do is write down some of the things that you desire, because I think in this business, we tend to attract people just like us and create that relativity. Or maybe they're attracted because you have something that they would love to have. So if somebody's working a full-time job, Chris and I are going to go out and have a meal on an hour where most people are working. Why? Because we're entrepreneurs and we choose our lifestyle. Instead of going on the weekend or at night when people aren't working in general, then they'll want to have your life. And often people will say to Chris and I wish I would have a property in the tropical, just like you guys. That's my dream. Often people will say that. Why do they say that? Because they're watching our posts. They're watching the stuff that we're doing, and we plan things at certain times for a specific reason. It's because most people can't do it at these times. So think of that when you're writing out your content and things that you're doing, the lives, whatever, the prepared videos that you're creating, when you're posting it, make sure that you're doing this. And like we always say, we do Maxwell, we do life. We're not always behind the screen. And you want to make sure you have a variety of different places that you're sitting at to do your business. If you're always behind the screen, maybe some people look at that and go, oh my gosh, I wouldn't want to do that. But if they see us one day behind the screen, the next day they see us, walking and talking on the phone, the next day they see us, sitting in a coffee shop at hours that, people who are working, they can't do it, and going and doing different things, then people are constantly watching you. They're constantly watching your stories. What does your life look like every day? What does your life look like in your business? What does it look like? And that's what people are searching for, because everybody is searching, and you need to know this. Everybody's searching for something. That's why they're on the social media platform.
I totally agree, Tammy. And the fact here is you want to leverage from the social media. What we just talked about here is offline business. And to be honest, it's just common sense that you're online or offline. Those principles do not change. They are the same. But now what's very important is we're getting into a new era. And social media, it's not like something that, if I feel like it, I'll do it. It's like, I don't want a cell phone. Well, if you don't want a cell phone, you're going to start having some challenges, especially in today's environment of how we do business and even how we interact with our our own finances, and you know what I'm talking about. It's not just a phone anymore. There's so much more to it. So these are tools that it's very important to adapt. And I know all of you here are quite familiar with the social media aspect because we've been talking about it for the past 2.5, 3 years now. But what's important is to really be open and don't get overwhelmed. And it's important I repeat this because I also get overwhelmed, folks. I'm telling you, there's so much to learn. This weekend, Tammy just spent literally 3 days, almost 6 to 8 hours a day, following an event with a company called Attractive Marketing.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was 11 a.m. till 10:30, sometimes 11 o'clock at night. So it was these were long hours.
Yes, because Tammy wants to we want to build funnel for people to, you know, that are interested in working with us. We want to build funnels for the link, the sell product online, Tammy, that just went right on my head. Affiliate marketing. I don't know why the word just didn't want to stick. You know, and we're also going to create funnels for people that are interested to literally, you know, in other words, from the lead right to the presentation, from the presentation to the sign up form, the whole thing. So there's a lot that we are adapting to automate our business so we can do a lot of things working in the background, but all of that is really driven from the funnel of the social media platforms, where there's YouTube and YouTube ads and Facebook ads. We can go on and on and on. So now what we want to do is we want to talk about leverage. If you want to go ahead, Tammy, and cover that.
Yeah, I love this picture. Can anybody relate to this in the chat? Just put a 1 if you can relate to this, guys, girls, you know, on the go, always having things to do. And the key in our business is leverage. You don't have to be the one doing everything all the time. But you know, when you work a job or you have a traditional business, I'm telling you, I come from traditional business and I was literally burning out all the time, burning the candle at both ends because I had to do everything. And then when I came into network marketing, yes, at the beginning, when you're new, you have to build a foundation of, you know, a few key business partners that are serious about building this with you. And now it's a leverage business working together, you know, not always having to be that person. So we're going to share with you some fun stuff, that new content that you're going to be really excited about. So go ahead, Chris.
You know, Tammy, I love the brush that's flying off with the toasts, the computer, and the kids that are just like, hey, and then the pearls that are just, it's a really good representation of what some people are going through. It's actually amazing. So yeah, so one of the things that's important here is in a warrant market, social media, we want to talk a bit of a launch strategy. And this is something that we actually picked up this weekend. And we're doing this through the Fraser Brooks data that he's sharing in a 90-day run. And again, we have it in the Crown Diamond Global, and we're also the accelerator with Eric Worre. Regardless, the fact is we're learning a lot of this stuff. And this weekend, Tammy and I really like her strategy on the onboarding process, on how she gets someone started. And it's absolutely brilliant. It's not hard to do. And I do recommend that you come back to this training, listen to it again. Remember, they're all recorded, they're all posted. You can go back, listen to them. So you can kind of pause it, try it on your phone, and then do the day 2 and pause, you know, go through this process. Okay. So the thing is, get your newest business builder results within 24 to 48 hours and get into profit within 14 days. This is what's important. And I find that in many cases, with associates starting a business, it's a missing link, right? They get started and they spend months, sometimes years before they get any decent income coming through. So it's a very important steps that we want to walk you through, where, first of all, go for the new builder FFC. We'll explain to you what that means in a minute. Get their first order within the first 24 hours, hit their first rank within the first 7 days, which is very important, right? The first rank in Max, it's actually a senior associate. It's very doable. Some people can get bronze, but that might be more like 30 days or 90 days. But the fact here is that is your core rank, right? Which could be a month. Now, if you do this diligently, think about it. A salesperson who gets hired, I can tell you one thing, that there's expectation from this salesperson. And if this salesperson does not deliver, they will not keep their job. And you have to look at this opportunity just like that. So you can't say, well, you know, I can work whenever. It's up to you. It's entirely up to you. But in 30 days, you can accomplish the core rank. Absolutely can. It really depends on what goes on here. So back to you, Tammy.
Yeah, at the end of the day, people are joining your business because they want results from what they're not getting right now in their life. And most people are looking for fast income, right? So that's why those who are out there that are more aggressively working strategies, getting their brand new person engaged, creating something simple for them to do. That's got to be the key thing. If you go and share all these things that they need to do before they even start, then they won't want to do it. So you got to get them doing their first action, which is to create their first post. Okay, so choose your hero product. In our case, our hero product is Cellgevity, but in some of our international markets, Cellgevity is not even available. So the hero product might be another product. So we did put a few examples for you to play with. So the second thing is to identify primary benefits from whatever that product is doing. So what's the biggest problems that product solves? And number 3 is come up with catchy taglines or hashtags. You want to actually use both of them. So come up with that as you share your product. You want to create some catchy names and learn from each other. Watch what other leaders are doing. I know that's something that I do. I'll look at somebody's caption. I go, oh, I like the way they did that. And then you keep a form, a Word document, whatever it is, on catchy captions that really caught your attention so that you can duplicate or change a little bit in the process. Okay, so an example is look and feel 30 at 50 from the inside out, or cell health boost fountain of youth. I would just kind of throw in some stuff out with what we have. For example, our ATP power pack. You might even have something better that you'd like to say, a power pack a day. It gives you focused performance and energy all day. Example, bye-bye belly fat. How many people do you know that want to get rid of their belly fat? 2 capsules before meals melts the fat away. Right? So there's some really great things. So start to think of something that's going to capture somebody's attention in as few words as you can. And of course, you want to write a short curiosity invoking caption with that. We put a few examples, and we're going to expand on this for sure. Make sure that you take a selfie or product shot that doesn't show what it is. And this one is really important. You don't want to set your brand new person up for failure as somebody who's oh my God, not another one of those just selling products, and then they start to ghost you or delete you or whatever. So you want to make sure that you set your brand new people up right, and they want to have a fun experience doing it. So we're going to go through a 7-day challenge, I guess you could say, strategy on how they can get results fast.
Yeah, and I know, Tammy, that at the beginning we have some examples of posts here, and one thing that you and I talked about before this session this evening is, you know, as you guys are browsing around and listening to other people posting, may I suggest that take maybe a screenshot or take note of some of those title posts. All right. That I heard a little baby here for a second. It was cute. So take note of a post and a title post and start accumulating this as ideas for future posts for yourselves. So if you're on TikTok or whatever, instead of just being entertained with what some folks are doing, and we all got cut into doing this. Just pay attention to what they post, what they say, what they do, what got your attention to listen. So go ahead, Tammy.
Yeah, it's true. I'm paying a lot more attention now than I ever did on what other people are doing. And so it makes it a lot easier when you're out there building your business. So here's an example, but we're going to share 7 days with you. But I just took a screenshot really fast this morning, I think it was. And just with 2 capsules, you notice the bottle there.
The screenshot.
SCG that's there. And it's not showing the label. Nobody knows what it is. And it's creating curiosity. So look and feel 30 at 50s. And my target market is the 50s. So whatever your target market is, you got to think about what you want to say around it from the inside out. So they say, you start using some emojis. So this is maybe a brand new person that's in their 50s. I'm making an example because that's my target market. So I wrote that. And you're like, so I'm new using it kind of thing. So only one way to know, here we go. Like things like this, remember, they're brand new. You want to set them up to have fun with the experience. And then here's another one that I just put that on my counter over here this morning. And I scratched out, or I didn't scratch out, but I'll share these pictures. If anybody wants to use the pictures, I think in boards, it's good to give them pictures, not just to expect them to go take pictures because, they may not get the angle that we know that is needed to get that result. Anybody who's taking pictures, please send them to us so we can have a buffet on boards of things that they can use that's not showing the product label or the company. Okay, so Power Pack a day gives you focus, performance, and energy all day. I could work that even better. So they say, right? And only one way to know. Here we go. And if you've had results from this product, I'd like to hear from you. Comment below, because you want to engage people in the process. Okay, so the brand new person that you just launched is going to start out, maybe they're not comfortable doing a reel or a video. They could if they're comfortable doing it, but not everybody wants to show their face right away. What a perfect opportunity for the brand new person to feel comfortable because you kind of laid that out for them to get started. A 7-day launch.
One thing, Tammy, I wanted to mention in reference to, so they say, why is this there? Is you want to create that relativity with that person that's skeptical. Once upon a time, you were skeptical. I was skeptical. I remember years and years ago when I was introduced to products that came from this industry, I was very skeptical. So when the person was also skeptical, and then there was a transformation, got me curious, what happened? You see, and that's that relativity we're talking about. So that's what we mean by so they say. That's what they're saying. Well, let me try it. Let me see what happens. And and you want to try to bring them along. Sometimes, for example, it's the logic where someone has an objection, and you go along with the objection, so they can relate to you and you can relate to them, and that will create the bridge that will get them along with you. And I know we talked about this in previous calls in previous years within the same context, is that relativity is absolutely critical. And it's a way of doing that as you are sharing your posts on social media. So carry on, Tammy.
And then I did one for the switch. So bye belly fat. Yeah, it works. And who wants to lose 10 to 50 pounds of unhealthy fat without losing muscle tone?
Not me, because I'm skinny.
It's get your sexy back time. And summer is around the corner. Don't wait. If you're ready, say ready in the comments. So you want to get people always engaged. That's the key. So you can do a picture with yourself, or you could do a picture on its own with the bottle with a couple capsule, and that will work as well. So this is another idea for somebody. So it depends on what the person wants to market, because we're all different and we all want to market different things. And the greatest thing is every single one of our products are standalone. They're so amazing that you can do really great things with all of our products.
Yeah, and by the way, Tammy, I just wanted to pass on that Janet had to step up. She had to call in, and her mom is at the nursing home, so just wanted to pass this on. And you're right, Billy. I know you mentioned you're skinny, and this is awesome, but you see, the rest of the world is not always. So what happens is that you can actually use stories that you may come across, and I'm sure you know people that are struggling with their weight.
Damn, I'm old.
Right. So these are just some example that we're sharing here. So you know, again, the goal is to create engagement posts. That's the goal, is to create a reaction. And Tammy will share with you an example a little later, but you ask questions that are relevant to your target audience. And I know that Tammy worked with some of you to determine what your target audience is. And this is really important. I know for me, it's like doing a tax audit. I'm serious, but it's really important. And I'm really grasping that is you need to take the time to determine what is your target audience, who are you targeting, and spend the time figuring this out. And we're going to be doing trainings on that. There's so many content that we want to share with you, but this is very important what we're talking about here, right? So take the time to figure out who do you want to talk to and who's the target audience you're looking for, you know? Tammy, what's the BTS?
Behind the scenes, Chris.
Oh, okay. I only have to read this. So, but that's the thing, right? So, and this is really important, is behind, like, for example, just now, as I started this presentation, I took a little picture, you know, sharing my stuff. You know, many of you know, I'm a techie guy. I mean, for me, it's like going to Best Buy. It's like a candy store. Oh, wow. I want that one. You know, this is something I'm passionate about. And there's a lot of folks that are passionate about. And what I did is I took a picture of this in this past weekend. I posted into this private group of that event. And next thing you know, there's 50 people who are actually like, there's full of comments. And for me, I was just bragging about, hey, because we were talking about technology and equipment and all this stuff, not realizing that with tons of people. Next thing you know, there's three messages that came to me. Can you show me what you got? Now, I just went ahead and showed them exactly all the things that I purchased on Amazon, and I shared that to them on WhatsApp. Now we made a connection, and I'm not going to sponsor her. I may never happen, but what's happening is I'm building a relationship with that person. Really, I didn't realize it would create that much attention. But that's the thing, is what happens behind the scene. People want to hear. Sometimes people think that, well, my life is boring, nothing is really going on. You may think that, but people are so curious to see what's happening in other people's lives. It's crazy. And that's what they want to see. And you want to share that through your stories, your reels, your lives, your posts. Just in the past month and a half, I started doing some lives on some things that matters to me when it comes to leadership and mindset and all of these things. And I'm realizing that folks are liking it. They're commenting, they're saying all sort of nice things, which encouraged me to do even more. And I'm realizing it's actually supporting my entire team worldwide that are actually waiting for the next one that we're going to be doing that helps them deal with some of the challenges that we're facing in some of the markets. So it goes way beyond and just prospecting new people. It also creates a line of communication. It's like a billboard for people to pay attention, listen to. So these are things, and that's how you start creating an audience around you. Well, you can talk about some trending topics, exercise. You know, once in a while, not as often now, but I post some exercise we do in the morning to show people. Oh, am I 50? Am I 56 or 57? I'm 57 now. Oh, wow. So I'm 57 years old. Well, the fact is that I'm training like the young folks. I'm not as fast. I don't live as much. But the fact is I am doing this. And I'm seeing a lot of folks that are in my age group that can't even barely walk. It's quite serious. And I feel like a 20-year-old beside them. And we're in the same age group. So the fact here is people are interested to see you're 57, you're 63, you're 61, and you're still dancing, right, Jazz? You're still having fun like a little girl. I mean, this is encouraging. right? So you want to share these things. And Josh, it was a nice thing that you did your story. Is Josh still? Yeah, you're still there. Your story about the sunshine, the sunny day, and which was where day one. I didn't see your day two yet, but I saw day one. But you saw the amount of engagement that you had, right? So this is really cool, right? So at the end of the day, you just want to create engagement, and that's what it's all about. So I'm going to pass this over to you, Tanya, because I find that's a really good example.
Yeah, so like you want to wake people up. You want to shake the tree, right? To find out where people are at. Is to create that engagement post example here. Women 40 or older, if you could give one piece of
hey, that
advice
was
to a
can
girl
y'all
in
kick
her
this
early
minute?
30s, what would it be? And it just gets women thinking. And anybody who is 40 plus, guess what? Everybody wants to give their opinion. So this is when you get a lot of engagement. So think of questions that you can ask that will get people thinking, you know, and then you're going to get people responding based on the questions that you're asking. So what would you tell your younger self if you had a chance? What would you tell?
Okay. Just carry on, Tammy.
Okay. So next slide.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to go with 7 days that you could use to get your brand new person engaged immediately in doing a 7-day post. All right. So their day one is that curiosity post. It could be a picture of the product only. It could be a reel. Maybe they're really good on social media and they're ready to do a reel and they want to just do that picture. I don't know if anybody saw this one that I did. I was kind of like doing that bang, bang, bang. It was a trending thing. And every time I did the bang, it was something about mental health, you know, physical health, all of that. And then I had read the caption and I created some engagement in that. So that's what you want to get them to do on day one, is to create that curiosity post right away. And
You go ahead.
And then day number 2, I did different products because I just wanted to show examples on some of the different products. So then you want to continue with an announcement post and a story. So in your feed, you do a post and then you also do one in your stories. So the feed curiosity, I just wrote down something that one of the girls was saying, kind of following her guideline, but eek. So I watched from the sidelines for too long. That was funny because in COVID, first year of COVID, not being able to go out and walk and stuff, I started to gain some belly fat. So you got that there. So it kind of related to, I waited too long, right? And decided to go out of my fear, doubt, holding me back. Guess what? Big changes are coming in my health and family. I can't wait to step into my best self. So that's an example so if you've got a brand new person who's getting started and their goal is to focus on weight loss, then this will be perfect. So it's where they are before. And then you want to say, go to my stories for all the details. And so that's what you want to do. So you want to get them to show pictures. They might not be comfortable doing what I just did. That was brave to show your stomach, but they may want to just, have a t-shirt, whatever they put should be the same idea when they do the after picture. So if they're doing a t-shirt, a black t-shirt or whatever, a white t-shirt, whatever it is, then they should have the same t-shirt when they do their after. It could be a different color, but the same fit. You know what I mean? Because then you know for real the results. All right. So this was an example. And then day 2 stories, you've got the feed post, curiosity, and then you've got the story, transparency. If I want to get lean with me, say me. Or if you want to get lean with me, say me. And so you want to create that engagement. You want to create that call to action for them to want to do this with you.
So Tammy, you're getting a lot of thumbs up from Facebook Live. So thanks, guys, from the Philippines. You guys are awesome. And I know my wife is very brave, so I'm proud of you for just being completely
To put
transparent.
it before, it's not easy, right? So it's not a comfortable thing to do, but that is what sells. That's really what sells, is when people look at you tend to attract the environment that you're in. So I just thought, you know what, I got to do it. So I did it. And so people who are looking to get that next level of fitness will really appreciate that as well. So, and then day 3, you're going to move into a business focus. Okay. Community post and stories. So need a tribe to belong to? I'm loving this new community that I've joined. Want to know what I'm loving most about my new business? It's been so simple to learn the step-by-step systems that help you make extra income from your phone. And the mentorship is incredible. So for them to be in one of the pictures of a Go for Diamond session, and make sure you guys are taking screenshots of these Go for Diamond sessions and post them in the group, because it also helps somebody who's brand new, maybe doesn't know how to post or doesn't know how to do these screenshots. These pictures will be available for your new people. When your people get on these Go for Diamond sessions, take screenshots. You want your new people engaged in all this. Imagine if you would have 10 brand new excited people getting on this session, learning about prospecting, learning about how to do their first 7-day launch. You think they'd be excited right now and they'd know what to do, the steps to do? So that's the goal in all of this, is get back to those people who are new or fairly new, or maybe they've been in a while and they haven't even done anything yet with their business. What a great opportunity for you to walk them through this process and do it with them. Don't let them do their stuff on their own with their brand new, and give them some guidelines and some captions, things that they can use to help them. Because once they start making their first little bit of money, guess what happens? Their posture changes. Their excitement changes. It goes to another level. They want to do more. They want to do more. So let's go into day number.
Actually, Barbara has a question, Tammy. I'm just going to give her an opportunity to ask. Are you able to connect? Oh, you keep muting. Let me try again. Are you able to unmute?
I love all this. Do y'all do this weekly?
These sessions are weekly.
Yes, they are weekly.
Thank you.
Okay.
My nigga. Oh crap, my mic's still unmuted.
Okay, thank you for sharing. Okay, so let's move on to the next slide. Okay.
So if you're going to go with a product focus, then I hope you're screenshotting these and write out the content as well. Take the time to write out the content, because what happens is you start writing something out and then something starts to trigger on what you want to say from your point of view, your heart, right? So, wow, I wasn't expecting this. When I decided to put my health first and ordered my immune system booster, I knew the results my friend has had were amazing. But I didn't realize it also came with a community of thousands of other people around the globe who are on a similar journey. Everybody's searching for this. Everybody. I get goosebumps just reading it. I'm not going to lie, finding the motivation to stay on track with my goals was a worry of mine. But with the support and accountability of this community, I feel unstoppable. And use emojis in the process, because a lot of people can relate to the emojis. So that's an example of a product focus. So you got a little bit of both when it comes to a community post. So day number 3 is a community post and story. So you can put them in both.
So one of the things that's important here is not to be afraid to share. And if you're looking for content, some ideas, now remember, what I'm about to share with you is a robot, but it's really, really interesting how accurate the response is. And this is ChatGPT. I know it's all over the news and everything, but you can actually say things like, I took note here, you can actually make your ChatGPT even smarter. For example, you could say in the actual comment, so could you be a devil advocate on what I'm about to ask you? It's brilliant. And he was going to respond back to you like a human, say, absolutely, I'd be happy to do that. What is your question? And then you start interacting and it falls into a different mode. Another one is pretend that you're my consultant. And I'm looking for topics for my Instagram or Facebook post in reference to my weight loss product. What are the three topics would you would you share with me, or could you recommend me? And it's going to turn around and spit all that stuff out. And then when you're taking it, you don't necessarily want to cut and paste, but sometimes it's amazing. It's, I cannot believe it's like I'm talking to another human, but you may want to tailor it a little bit more towards you. And it's amazing how you can find some wonderful ideas for content. But what's going on and what Tammy's sharing with you here is it creates, again, relativity. The person can relate and they share skepticism, and then they're surprised themselves on what's been going on. And you can also have someone else, you can have an interview with someone else, one of your associates, sharing their testimony. You can do a video with you on your cell phone. You put your phone around them, share the story, and that could be something that you can post. And then I did a training on a couple of days ago in reference to Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live is free. And with the free version, you can actually do a live. So you can have a video that you prepared and edited, and you can do it live on your Facebook page as if you are live. People don't know the difference, but it's completely edited as you see fit. And it actually shares the video in real time. And at the end of the video, you just have to make sure you click end, because it's just going to keep looping, right? So again, it's just some ideas that I've thought that I do that actually works very, very well in line to what we're talking about. But the idea is that the more people see you, the more exposure you do, the more they will recognize you, and eventually they will respond to you. Back to you, Tammy.
All right. So day 4 is curiosity post number 2. So you're creating a flow and actually bringing them more into the community of Max. And this is like showing a second product. Okay, so creating curiosity on something else that that the company has. So I heard Power Boost on the go, and the rest was a blur. I can't wait to share my results. Almost done my first drink. The suspense is killing me. Have you used Power Pack yet? Drop your results below. So this is, maybe there's people that are following the people that you have, your new associates. Maybe some people are already using this products that can validate the results that somebody's getting in the results. So it's important that we support our team members, right? So if you have your brand new person that's sharing their first post and trying their first package of ATP, then you want to go in and comment on how powerful this product is, and even ask some of your leaders to comment. So it gives them some leverage on other people who have tried the products and they're getting great results with it. So this suspense is building up right now. So they shared the flagship product. Now they shared a second product out of curiosity. They're just trying it. They're brand new business builders, and they're feeding this to their audience. Do you think that they're going to get some leverage in the contacts that they have within their networks, and of course anybody else who's watching them? You think they're going to get some attention now by the fourth day? In the chat, just put yes if you think that they're going to get some attention. Is this a nice way of doing things without feeling like they're you know, selling or making people feel uncomfortable with the information they're saying? Do you think that they're going to get better results by doing it this way? Absolutely. Absolutely. So day 5 is to move them into doing a live. And, you know, I know at the beginning, it's not easy. I get it. And really encourage your associate to do a live. Chris was talking about eCam, but most people are not going to be able to catch that the first time. But just to be authentic and share something exciting about where they're at with the launch. Want your immune system thriving? They're going to start talking about what these products are doing. Benefits, always benefits when you're talking. Here's what I'm doing to increase my energy, get that in the zone mental focus. And at the end of the busy day, guess what? I sleep like a baby. It doesn't have to be long, right? It could be a reel, but make sure that they're doing something where they're live. That's what's important. Chris put this picture up. I don't know if you ever saw this one, but we were talking about boosting libido, sleep, pain reliever. And this was stuff that we were posting just to create curiosity on people who were searching for that. Chronic pain, getting you down. So we were just in the kitchen, poured a glass of water, just took a couple pills, and we got a lot of attention with that. And that's all we did. It was nothing that difficult. And then, of course, a business focus. I can't even believe I did this. How many people join the business and they're still in shock that they actually made that investment, you know, in joining network marketing or the business? See, they don't even have to say network marketing. I just can't believe I did this. I mean, I've always been an employee, you know, just being authentic and just telling people this. And here's exactly why I said yes. And give them a few reasons why you said yes to this. And that's going to go a long way. And then day number 6 is unboxing, an unboxing video. So Beth, I remember Beth was doing this on one of her gratitude posts. So I quickly asked Beth if she would send over her video to me, because I was kind of putting this together today. And I just took a screenshot of it. And so again, do another feed post. So day number 6 is another feed post. And of course, taking it into the stories. And it's again, curiosity. You're constantly getting your audience curious along the journey. You're moving them along that day 1 journey of just seeing the product, and then seeing how excited you are because, you know, your box is there. And so it's to do a graphic photo, a selfie of you holding your box, and don't show any labels on the box. So the moment you guys get your boxes, start taking pictures, smile, get excited, open the package, do a video, get excited. Chris, you have to go back because I'm not done. All right. So you want to have a great caption in that. And oh my God, I've been waiting for this. Can't wait to show you about what's inside. Check out my stories to see all the goods. And then maybe your stories could be you holding the box and maybe teasing with a product hanging out without showing the product name. You could be holding and hugging the products that you have. You know, something that's just going to get people like curious. And what are you holding in your, why are you so excited about what you're holding? You know, it's just to create that fun and curiosity through the whole process. And then day number 7 is the big day. This is when you move people along to make some decisions. They may even be curious enough and want to buy the stuff right away. And remember, always a call to action. So this is your results update post. So at the end of 7 days, you want to have your associate doing this, and even ask your customers if they're open to do this stuff, because you never know, you might engage them as associates down the road. Okay, here it is. You got the little written emojis there. I already feel more energetic and focused. I haven't had the need for that extra coffee in the afternoon. I'm sleeping better, feeling very rested in the morning. People around me are asking what I'm doing because I'm looking more rested. I've already got some orders coming in. We're creating a fun accountability Zoom. So we have a place to connect daily and share our wins as we go. This is so much fun. And then ask them a question. Ask them if they wanted to be part of the community. Ask them if they want to give the product a try. And just have them put in the comments, yes, or I'm ready, or I'd love to be part of, well, you want to keep it short. Do you want to be part of the accountability Zoom? Do you want to be part, do you want to show up at our next presentation? Put a yes in the comment. So you want to get them doing that engagement part in the process. So that is going to help your brand new people go along their journey as they're sharing the information.
So, and so what we share with you here is it's up to you to take action on that, but this is something that every one of you can do. And you can start day 1 as you see fit, as if you're starting right now. Remember, the audience that don't know you, as far as they're concerned, that's your day 1. And you can start this and you can repeat that from time to time. And every time someone new, we go through this process, you might actually be surprised on the results you're going to get, because you're getting people into action now, not a year from now, right now. And that's the prospecting paradigm, right? And it's to go through all those prospects that are going to go through the funnel, that are watching, that are listening. Some could sit there for years and eventually something click, or some could be a day, some could be a month, some could be a week. You may happen to hit them exactly at the right time. But in the process, it's always about that relativity and building that relationship and try to get engagement. And that's what it's all about. And be patient with the process. Be patient with the process. I know we live in a society that we need money yesterday, and I get that. But unfortunately, it's not going to change the fact that you need time and you need to trust the process. What we're sharing with you here worked. We heard this from multimillionaires in the industry that are absolutely crushing it in this industry, in this environment, right, of network marketing, utilizing social media. It's working. It's entirely up to you to apply it or not. But be patient with the process. And one thing that's very important is we still have that report, and it's still very, very valid, right? That you make a contact on social media or offline, regardless, keep tab of your results, because you might actually have done something that got you some amazing results, but you're not paying attention what that something was, and you stop doing it. And your back may be struggling, not realizing that you found something that worked, but you're not repeating the things that work for you. And everybody has a different blueprint. But this is something, all of these, you can access them on the Active Team website. It's all available. And in fact, what I'm going to do is once the call is up on YouTube, I'm going to put some reference like this particular one in the comment section. So it'll be easy for you to find and access it if you also happen to be on Facebook Live. Okay. So, and the thing is, schedule your prospecting time. Schedule them. So if you're, for example, doing a certain post at a certain time, and I have to admit, I'm not good at that because I tend to get distracted with a lot of things that are going on, but I'm trying to keep the same schedule on a regular basis. For example, the active team email, something a little bit out of context, but it's still relevant, is I decided every Saturday, 10 a.m., I send our podcast. Every Sunday, 10 a.m., I send the email for the Go for Diamond call on Monday. Every Monday morning, 10 a.m., I send a list of all the presentations that are taking place on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, where there's 2 presentations on Thursdays. Okay. And this is what I do. Some of you may want to do that. I know Maripol does her own presentation. Lucy Caron does her own presentation. And what's important is people tend to connect to repeated process. People are a creature of habits. And when they see something come in a certain time, it's like you watching series at a certain time. And, well, if you watch, I know Netflix, so you can watch whatever you want. It's a different world, but in the past, right? A reference to that, at a certain day, at a certain time, you'd be sitting in front of the TV to watch that particular segment. And you would be there at that time. And it would have, I don't know how many million people watching, whatever's playing on that time. So it's people are creature of habits. And that's why it's so important. So the thing, folks, here, and Tammy, feel free to add to this, and we're just kind of finishing up. Sorry, we're a little bit late here today, but there is so much content to share with you in this training, and I think it's very important. And those of you that applies some of the information you learn here today, you can really make a difference into your business. But don't wait till later. Do it now. That could be the turning point for you. That could be the complete change. Max International's product has never changed for 16 years. It has evolved, but has never changed. The quality has always been there. We live in a deprived immune system society. We live in an environment where people are looking for more income. They can't do it full time, but they can do it part time. You can leverage from social media to create a bigger audience watching you to increase your income. We could go on and on and on this. Tammy, you want to talk a little bit about the assignment, which is still very relevant?
Yeah. So schedule at least 1 hour of power prospecting daily. If you're working a full-time job and 1 hour a day doesn't work, I mean, your schedule and what you can and can't do, because I know some of you are working full-time, plus you have kids. Some are single moms. I get it. But in order for you to have the things that you want in your life and to move forward in your business, you need to really take the time to build this up, because it's the prospecting portion that is going to get you the results of people to connect to. And once you do that, next week, we're going to talk about the inviting process. So how do you invite the interested people to purchase, to show up at a presentation, and move them forward? It's always about moving people forward. So you want to schedule that. If you don't schedule that in your day, most likely the day is going to go by. I know that we have really busy schedules, and if it's not in my schedule, most likely I don't get that 1 hour in focus time on the power prospecting. So put that in your agenda and stick to it, and initiate 10 to 20 new connections weekly, daily. Some of you are full-timers doing this. You know what you have to do. If you're a full-timer, you're doing this automatically. You don't even need to be trained how to do this stuff, because that's what got you to full-time income, is by doing this stuff on a regular basis. We're always talking to new people, always moving new people to have a look and to make some decisions. And number 3 is to fill in your report. This is really important, is to fill in the report to know where your progress at the end of the week. And if you're not getting the results that you want in your business, go back and look at your sheet. That's a clear indication on where you are at in building your business. And if you're getting a lot of connections, but you're getting no engagement, no people to presentations, that means that call to action needs to be applied in the things that you're doing. And of course, number 4 is to be accountable. You cannot be accountable to yourself. Let's face it, none of us are going to kick ourselves in the butt. None of us. We need somebody out there that's going to keep us accountable. And it's generally the people that are your sponsors. And if your sponsor's not active, don't worry about it. Keep going up and asking for support, because in our business, it's about leveraging and getting the support from the leadership. So I hope all of you got some valuable information. I know it took a little bit longer. This is probably going to be broken up into segments, I'm guessing, Chris. And yeah, or we'll have to redo it and do 2 different segments.
Yeah, I'll work with Marcel to edit out some of the details and everything else.
Yeah.
No, Bob, you said you had a question. You have your hand up there. Is your question, if you don't mind just answering this on the chat, is your question relevant to this information, or you just interested in sharing some personal point of views? I'm going to give you a few seconds here to give you an opportunity to share. Okay, and here's what I recommend, Bob. Feel free to direct message me. Okay, you have a question? Okay, I will unmute. Just bear with me. Okay, you've been sent a notification to unmute, so go ahead. Bob, you should be able to share right now. Okay, so we'll end on this note here, folks. Thank you so much, everybody. And there's a lot more content as we are continuing our journey of updating the Success Cycle series. And this training can actually be located on the, when you select the active team group, you select documents, from there, Canada, USA, and then you would select English, and then you would select trainings, and then we select Success Cycles, and the trainings are there. You will see all of them are there from the beginning up to prospecting. These are updated. Okay. So everybody have yourself a wonderful evening. And if I did not answer your question, please do feel free to direct message Tammy or I. You can find us on Facebook. I'll be happy to address concerns or question. Okay. Everybody have a good one. Have a good night, everybody. And bye for now. Bye-bye.
Have an awesome week, everybody.